So welcome to our September project user group meeting here at the beautiful Bellevue Square, Microsoft Store. And I'm going to talk about some of the new features in Project 2013 on the desktop. I'll mention some of the project server enabled EPM features, mostly in the context of what's not in Project Standard. We'll talk about Project Standard as compared to Project Professional. Then we'll move right into the hands-on demos, which is always sort of our test of truth here at the user group. So I'm here not wearing my Microsoft hat, but wearing my book author hat. So I am the co-author of the Project Step-by-Step self-paced tutorial, published most recently for Project 2013, but also going back to Project 2000. My co-author is Tim Johnson, and he might actually make an appearance here tonight as well. And I'm going to actually be using the Project 2013 step-by-step, which will then hand off for the raffle later tonight. And as is often the case, excellent odds that everybody here will walk away with something from the raffle. So just by show of hands, who here is running Project 2000 or earlier? So we have nobody here running 2000 or earlier. That's good news. 2003? Good. 2007? Maybe? No? So this is a pretty up-to-date crowd, as we might expect here. So 2010? Okay, so I'm counting about two-thirds of the folks here. 2013? And I saw a couple of hands go up for both 2010 and 2013. Not uncommon at all for project users to have multiple versions, which in the more recent releases, of course, cohabitate on the same machine much better than before. Now, so most of us are running 2013, a couple also running 2010. Who here is also using Project Server for EPM functionality? So just a small number of folks here. Okay. So as I said, I'm not really going to focus on what's new with Project Server in 2013. That really hasn't been our focus in our book. We've really almost exclusively focused on desktop functionality for Project. So this question really doesn't apply because we're a very up-to-date crowd here. We've all moved on to 2010 or, for most of us, 2013. So that's good news. Now I mentioned the two editions of Project, Project Standard and Project Professional. Project is unique amongst the Microsoft Office applications in having these two separate editions. Of course, it's unique in that it's not bundled with Office at all. And now you can see part of the reason why. So I dug up the MSRP prices for these. You can see Project Pro is quite a premium compared to Standard. And here are some of the other big differences. Of course, with Standard and Pro, you can use both in a single user focus on the desktop. With Standard, there is some degree of what I would call small workgroup support. This includes strategies like posting your centralized resource pool on a share, for example, and then all the project managers in your org sharing that same resource pool. It can also include things like posting consolidated plans on a share, cross-project links across different UNC paths. My one comment on that strategy is I've had good luck with UNC paths in that case. It's been somewhat mixed with URL paths, and in particular with cross-project links. So the URL context comes up mainly when storing MPP files on a SharePoint site, UNC with a normal a drive designation share. And over on the Pro side, as you can see, a much more expensive product. And if you have access to Project Server, then all of the enterprise project management and resource management capabilities turn on. Now, Project Professional includes a small set of features, but some very important features that are not really in any way related to EPM at all. They're just not in Project Standard, and I think that's just a way of better distinguishing the two editions and justifying the higher price for Project Pro. I'll call out some of those features as we get to them. In fact, here's a short list. This is not comprehensive at all, but some of the features I'm aware of that are in Project Professional but not in Project Standard. Link integration, which primarily comes up when you have populated your resource pool from Active Directory and you get the presence indicators next to all of your resource names. I tried it at work once. It wasn't really relevant for me. I didn't need presence information inside a project, but it was there. Team Planner View, that's a fairly major view introduced in Project 2010. It's in Pro, not in Standard. One of my favorite features that was also introduced in 2010 called Inactivate Tasks. Yeah, it's awesome. I use it quite a bit in Pro, not in Standard. We'll look at some of these features tonight. Okay, the SharePoint task list integration. This is not related to Project Server-based EPM. This is sort of a lighter weight workgroup collaboration capability. And then all of the enterprise and portfolio features, like the enterprise global template, enterprise custom fields, and so on. Now, of course, Project Standard does support a global template and custom fields, but not in the enterprise context. So they're not designed to be centralized with your project server and standardized across your organization. So tonight, we're going to look at a set of features that are new in 2013, and then depending on interest and time, we'll take a look at some of the major features from 2010 as well. This includes the new reports. So who here has used the new reports feature in Project 2013? Okay, good. So this is probably, well, I would say without a doubt, this is the major new feature introduced in 2013 on the desktop. And the only thing it has in common with reports in Project 2010 and prior is the name. It's a completely different feature, and we'll spend quite a bit of time looking at that tonight. Task path, some tweaks to the backstage, SkyDrive integration everywhere you deal with file management if you're logged in to SkyDrive. A much later project finish date. Does anyone know the new latest project finish date that the Project 2013 supports? Yeah, so this was actually a problem for a lot of project users. The prior project finish date, I believe, was 2049. I believe, is that correct? Yeah. And the new latest project finish date is 2149. So if, like me, you'd like to build that plan for the terraforming of Mars, you can get started in 2013. Touch input, I'll actually demo that here since I have a touch-enabled device. I mentioned link integration, and then a set of Project 2010 features as well. So before we jump into the demos, we'll go ahead and pause here because the food has arrived. And as we like to say, the primary purpose of the user group is the care and feeding of the zealots. So this is the feeding part of that.